Hey, let's talk about Johnny Silverhand build in update 2.0 because things have changed ever since I first created that build. A lot of you were actually excited to see it, and ever since then, things have changed, right? And now what we're going to talk about today is different pistols, different build options because the skill tree has been updated. And what you see right here on the screen is a little bit of a preview. I do want to say right at the start, because in the previous video, a lot of you were unaware that Johnny Silverhand actually used Sandy. In the lore, he would actually use one. For whatever reason, because he is fused into our neck with the chip, our memory and his memory is kind of just scattered, right? We really don't know the truth from Johnny. Essentially, Black Hand was actually there when they were, invading Arasaka Tower. Obviously, to Johnny's memory, he did not reveal any of this, which is pretty interesting. Either or, we could probably automatically assume that maybe it's just because of how messed up the chip is, or possibly when they transferred his soul to it. There's a lot of possibilities. Let's now talk about the build. We are going to discuss weapons first because there's a few options here. At least, in my opinion. You might have a stronger opinion about this, but hey, let me know down below. Now, in terms of pistols, if we want to talk about the lore, we can use the Malorian, or we can talk about different options like the Seraph, or even this one right here. Either or will work, especially with the Malorian. Now for Cyberware, you can tell that I have a Sandy installed. This is going to be the Militech Apogee. This one's pretty good. It's actually the best one currently because now we receive 10% headshot damage, 9% crit damage, and 13% crit damage. On top of that, neutralizing an enemy will also give us a 20% extended duration and 22% stamina. That's pretty solid. And then when you look down towards the reflexes, we actually can tell that we receive a 0.1 sec duration with Cyberware per attribute points, and this is all towards reflex. Next, for optics, we have the Kuroshi, the Oracle Optics. This one is also good because what this does is highlight enemies within 17.5 meters, including enemies behind cover. And it also highlights a bunch of other things as well. And then for our hands, we have the Shock Absorbers, just for recoil, and also with the cool Attune. This will then give us a plus 0.2 headshot and weak spot damage per an attribute points. And then on the other hand, we have Micro Generator, which deals 240 electrical damage. And then for circulatory system, I just left it out. Legs, we have Reinforced Tendons. Then for skeleton, this is where we are definitely going to benefit from armor and just taking a lot of damage here from universal boosters, because we will receive a 10% armor for 5 seconds and minus 30 on all stamina. And within the same skeleton, we have Scar Coalescer. This one I actually like a lot because when your health drops below 50%, you're going to gain a plus 22% armor. Then for Bionic Joints, this one's a pretty basic one. It's given to you automatically. Then we have the Synaptic Accelerator, which is just going to help slow time down by 50% for 3.5 seconds when we are detected, as well as this one, which will help us slow down time for 3.5 seconds as well. But this is when we slide, dodge, or dash. Now for integumentary system, we have the Subdermal Armor, which is basic. It's given to you automatically, which is not bad at all. Then we have the Rain Guard. This is going to give us a 0.2 headshot and weak spot damage, by the way, for all of these. And then Pain Editor is another one that I've added to minus incoming damage by 7%. For character, we're going to talk about the skills and everything. First, starting off with body, I have Comeback Kid, Painkiller, Speed Junkie, and Army of One. All of these skills right here are basically going to give us health regeneration on top of Adrenaline Rush, which is going to give us a plus 35 max health, as well as regeneration. On top of that, we are also going to be able to gain some damage buffs because what's going to happen is when Adrenaline Rush is active, we will then receive a 10% damage buff, and this is all because of Juggernaut. And within the same skill tree, we're going towards the left side to benefit our shotgun quite a bit here because we're going to be using that as our secondary weapon. The shotgun's going to be Bloody Maria, and I'll talk about how you can pick that up later on in the video, but for now, let's talk about the skills briefly here. Most of these are just for damaging buffs and certain reloads and all that, especially the quick melee option, which is awesome because at the top here, when you shoot somebody with your shotgun and then melee them, it's going to cause 100% damage, and that's vice versa. So you can quick melee, then use your shotgun, it's all the same. And then blood loss to obviously give us the dismemberment. Moving on towards reflexes, we're going to add 13 attribute points, and then we're going to claim the whole bottom section here. This is going to allow us to quickly maneuver over stuff, slide, shoot, all that good stuff. And on top of that, the reason why we have so many towards reflexes, because we do gain a benefit from this, not only towards armor, cyberware, but actually within the own skill tree system. Next, we have technical ability, and most of these are just going to help out with cyberware, extra stat modifiers, and pretty much just to help us survive, really. There's also some benefits towards reduced cooldowns, which is really going to help out with Sandy when we do use it. And then there's also the longer duration effects. The left side is mainly just going to help out with recharging our grenades, health. This is really just going to help out with the adrenaline rush, because when we do use one of our health items, we will gain the benefit of adrenaline rush, and we will also have a damage buff as well. And last but not least, we have 20 points towards cool, and I've claimed the Road Warrior because I love using Sandy while driving. And on top of that, most of the stuff on the left side is just going to boost our damages towards headshot damages, weak spot damages, and we also have the ability to reload fast. Then for head-to-head, this is really great because you're going to be able to focus in. On top of that, with the Deadeye, you do receive more percentages towards headshot damages, weak spot damages, and we are pretty much just going to be using this whole left side, except for the last two options, which I felt were unnecessary, or at least we do not need them. Although, feel free to chime in if it's something that you feel like you would use, because hey, we're all open to opinions here, and possibly it might even enhance the build just a slight. And then for intelligence, yeah, it's completely blank. So yeah, this is pretty much the build, and I think you're going to enjoy it quite a lot. And if you're wondering how to pick up both the Seraph and the Bloody Maria, you can head over here towards the bottom, towards Reyes, and you can complete all of his gigs, and he will reward you that at the end. And then towards the left, we have Sebastian, which he will reward you with the Seraph. And both of these weapons are actually pretty good and optimal for the build. Now, on the other hand, if you would like to use something like the Malorian and stick to the lore, you absolutely can. Both pistols are great in their own way. Both have different benefits. Obviously, the Malorian has a nice, cool, unique melee option. And then when it comes down to the other ones, they're pretty basic. But for the gun's effects, it's nice. The Seraph has a nice effect with the fire. There's also some benefits there as well towards headshot damage. I think it's all up to you on how you want to play this. This is a Johnny Silverhand build, although it's also more of a pistol build in general. And I think you're going to dig this quite a lot. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I will be answering them within the first hour or two, as I always say at the end of the video, to remind you guys that, hey, I definitely do reply back, as my voice is really raspy there for some reason. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all on the next video.